Alrighty, what's happening, people? This is the week where you need to win to get into the playoffs for a lot of your fantasy teams. Appreciate y'all being here with us. Looking at my home leagues, I am locked into, well, I do need to win in our Superflex home league, but it's pretty much a formality at this point because of the trade I made last week. So looking at our home Superflex league, I'm 7-6 there in the 6th spot, but I made a trade last week with the guy I'm playing this week, where I basically gave him all the players that were on bye, so like Purdy, Henderson, McCaffrey. So I feel like I'm a guarantee to get in there. Might lock up the 1 seed in our 1 quarterback home league. The Flock League is over for me. I know Badaki needs to win and a couple other things need to happen, and you could get into the playoffs there in the Flock League.
Yeah, a couple things need to happen. I need to win, and then I need to score. I need to win. I need Thomas and Bush to lose, and I need to score, I think, plus 30 or plus 15 or plus 30 or between 15 or 30. I don't know the actual number.
Yeah.
To get in to beat Thomas, because right now Thomas has the points for against me. So.
Okay, right. Appreciate y'all for being here with us. If you are here on today's stream, just want to give you guys a heads up. This week is going to look a little bit different from a streaming perspective. We have a friend's wedding that is happening on the Saturday, and when we would normally go live, the Saturday before football starts. So we will not be available to stream during that day. We will be in the wedding with our friend. So we'll be streaming today and tomorrow. And will we be streaming Friday? Wait, we won't stream tomorrow. Sorry. We'll stream today and then before Thursday night. So those are your only opportunities to get in your questions through the stream. Of course, we'll be answering questions on the Flock site via text if you need some help. But appreciate y'all for being here with us. If you are pushing for the playoffs, so are we. That is today's code word for our giveaway, playoffs. All you have to do is like the stream and type playoffs. We're talking playoffs. Might be a shorter stream for today. A lot of stuff we need to do on the back end. And also, we don't have as many questions because obviously a lot of people aren't watching anymore because they're no longer in the playoffs. And, fantasy teams have been destroyed by injuries, and there's so many different reasons. I want to talk specifically to Nate and Gadgets. We're going to do your team reviews on tomorrow's Dynasty stream, so we'll see you guys then. Now, to everybody who has submitted a fantasy question so far on the site, we are honoring a BOGO offer. We did that last week for Thanksgiving. We're going to do it again this week. So this is for any start, sit, or trade question vouchers. If you ask them through the Flock site, then you will get a BOGO, right? So buy one, get one. And that will extend until 24 hours from when the wide receiver video was released. So we did release our start sits for the week on the stream, on the channel, excuse me. So 24 hours from when those videos were released, that's how long you'll have for to get that BOGO offer. Appreciate y'all for being here with us. Running back rankings, I'm recording the video today, and it should come out tomorrow for you guys on the Dynasty channel. I'm really excited to finally talk about some of these rookies. Been scouting on the weekends for a long time, and I am excited to finally put some of those thoughts into a public forum. Starting to jump into the wide receivers now as well, and it's a really interesting class. I'll just say that. It's a very interesting class. We appreciate y'all for being here. Should we jump into the questions, or is there anything?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool.
Jump into the questions here. Blue is the first one, the one that I can see here. Appreciate you. Like Zach said, we'll be doing the Dynasty team reviews on tomorrow's live stream on our Dynasty channel. So let's have a look here. Blue, appreciate you. Quarterback Dak Prescott, Chase Brown. Running back 2 here. It's going to be Marlon Hampton if he does play, which at the moment looks like he is going to be slated to play going into. I think they're playing on Monday Night Football against the Eagles. So I am happy to go ahead and start him going into week 14. That's for me.
I think for me that question depends on if Justin Herbert plays or not. If he doesn't, I think I probably lean Kyle Monangai there.
Okay.
Personally, but it's pretty close. As of right now, I'm looking at my rankings and they're back to back. I just don't have as much confidence in Trey Lance leading an offense than I do in Justin Herbert. And then I think we have to ask some questions about what Kamani Vidal's role would be. So I would say if it's no Trey Lance, I'm going to go Kyle Monangai, who has been really reliable in the last couple of weeks. But if Justin Herbert plays, I will start Amarion Hampton there. And then in the flex spot, I'm playing Drake London if he's active.
Yeah. Drake London doesn't play, then I think you'll kind of know your answer. If that comes out earlier, you can start Kyle Monangai and then start Amarion Hampton.
Yeah.
At least that's what I would do.
Yeah.
If Drake London doesn't play.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully that helps. Appreciate you, Blue. I just realized this question might have been for last week, and in case it is, I'm just going to give you that start sit voucher to use for this week instead. Apologies, my friend. Crush has a trade here for Dynasty.
Yeah, it says looking to win a championship. Do you hold JJ? Do you hold JJ or look to up tier Puka or JSN? This is Dynasty question. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great question. I think they can both be in the same position.
What does that
mean? My
initial
in the sense of like it depends on what happens with Matthew Stafford. If Matthew Stafford walks away,
okay,
is Puka Nacua going to be the guy he is without him?
Sure.
Obviously, we know that Justin Jefferson is. It's not a him problem. It's more like, okay, clearly Sam Darnold is just better than what specifically I expected. And he's probably not as QB proof as we actually thought, unless JJ McCarthy is just extremely bad than we actually anticipated. So, look, my initial thought is this feels like a lot.
Yeah.
Setting a first and Justin Jefferson for Puka Nacua, as much as I love both of them, but I'm still going to keep Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think about right now, obviously we're in a terrible position with Justin Jefferson's career. It's not on his own volition, but paying a first and Jefferson for Puka, I think you're going to regret that as early as January. You know, your fantasy championships are over. Maybe you win, maybe you don't, but I think you regret that as early as January. Right now, you're in a start 11, so a lot of championships are built on depth anyway, so it's not like you're adding pieces. And you're starting Stafford and Herbert or Purdy. You've also got CMC Taylor in your lineup. You've also got Adams already, who you would start with CeeDee Lamb. Then you're starting at tight end George Kittle. That makes 7 right there. You need to start 4 more players. And those 4 more players can be Justin Jefferson, like we just mentioned, Chris Olave, Devonta Smith. That's 3 already. You also have Javonte Williams. So you already have pretty decent depth. Personally, I don't see a reason to go out and pay a first and Jefferson for Puka in Dynasty. That seems like, I know you want to go win a championship, and I'm all for it, but I think you're going to regret this very quickly. So
I think if you want to go all in and win, I feel like a first is too much. I'll do a second. I feel like if your second is going to be late anyway, you might as well do that and then get the championship if that's really going to get it done. But setting the first is a bit too much, I would say. Or you can, I think that's probably the only thing I would say. But appreciate you there.
Your BOGO offer is in your inbox, Crush. Appreciate you. Jay Bird has a start sit question, and he's going to get that BOGO today as well. And at quarterback, Burrow or Herbert? I would start Burrow with Herbert's hand injury. I don't know that you're going to 100% have the clarity before Monday night kicks off, and he's playing on Monday night, if I'm not mistaken. At wide receiver, I'm going to go with A.J. Brown and probably Terry McLaurin, who looked great in his return on a limited snap count. And then in your flex, this is probably going to be Alec Pierce for me.
Alec Pierce. Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Appreciate you. The start sit, I don't remember if I gave him a BOGO yet, but there you go.
No, your wire hurts. Says need a quarterback off a waiver wire. Pickens status. need to win 7 and 6. Yeah, it just depends on who's available right now. I mean, I can only speak to what's available in our league, specifically the Flock League. This is the one core. Actually, you have an 8-man. This is an 8-team league.
Yeah.
I mean, you should have
Probably helpful just to have a look at some rankings real quick so he knows where we stand on the week. So for weekly quarterback rankings, I got names like Goff at 8, Brissett at 9. Names that are probably on the waiver wire, maybe Daniel Jones at 12, Jordan Love at 14, Darnold at 15. You know, Trevor, Caleb. These are the rankings. So surely one of those names are available. I think my preference would be Jacoby if he's for some reason on the waiver wire.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Josh Jacobs, Breece Hall, George Pickens, Jamar Chase, Brock Purdy with at the flex option between Tetaroa and, well, actually a lot of good options. Tet, RJ Smith, and Chris Olave. Look, in an 8-man league, you probably need high upside, and I feel like that high upside might be Devonta Smith.
Okay. I don't hate that. I just don't like his matchup. And I'm concerned if there's no Justin Herbert, I don't know how much they'll need to throw. I view the high upside as an RJ Harvey or a Chris Olave against the Bucs. I think Chris Olave against the Bucs is going to be needed throughout the entire game. He's been more reliable than Devonta, to be fair. And then RJ Harvey faces the Raiders. It's a pretty good matchup for him. He was uber inefficient last week, but got a vast majority of the touches. Those 2 touchdowns really propelled him, obviously. Want to see the efficiency go up. It's definitely a little bit concerning. I think Harvey is your upside, but I'd probably end up going Olave against the Bucs. That seems like a game that he's going to be desperately needed. So that's where I lean personally.
Yeah, which makes sense here. Happy with Olave or Devonta Smith there, your Wild Hearts. Hopefully that helps. John.
Bogo's in your account, my friend.
Yeah, for
said
John.
Error making the voucher. Okay. Give me a second. Okay, let me just refresh because your What Hurts. Let me know when you're watching. DM me if it didn't end up coming through. Well, I want to make sure that it comes through for you. John.
Yeah, John, at the quarterback position, Bo Nix, Bucky Irving here, Jalen Warren or Breece Hall. I think these are both interesting matchups this week. Breece going against the Dolphins, and then Jalen Warren against the Ravens. For me, I have Jalen Warren higher than Breece this week just based off of the matchup. I'm going to go Brock Bowers, and then I'm going to go Jameson Williams here.
Okay.
If it's no Monroe.
We're going to have a slightly different answer here, and that's okay. Firstly, make sure you put Jameson in your wide receiver spot and one of those other receivers in your flex because he plays on Thursday night. But my difference would be with Breece Hall and Jalen Warren. Jalen Warren is splitting this backfield pretty consistently now with Kenneth Gainwell. It's a little bit concerning to me. He got into the end zone, which is awesome, but half his points came from that touchdown. There's a much lower floor for a Jalen Warren, in my opinion, than there is for a Breece Hall. And I actually like Breece Hall against Miami. Miami's not a cupcake matchup anymore, but I think he's a really good play. He actually just dominated opportunities for the Jets this most recent weekend. He had 20 touches, and in total, the Jets running backs touched the ball 21 times. So only one other moment did a running back get an opportunity. He had 15.6 points, and he didn't score a touchdown. So he is a pretty safe option, in my opinion, in a decent matchup. I would prefer to play him, but that's where we would see things differently. Appreciate you, John.
Yeah. Appreciate
no
you.
BOGO, by the way, because this is a free voucher that was sent in. So the BOGO only applies to, purchases, not free vouchers being submitted again, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Went to Jared here. Says who to use waiver wire, claim on McLaurin, Godwin, Mitchell, and drop someone, or use it on Corm Rodriguez and drop someone. Kyron scares me. Get Corm, not sure on wide receiver too. Well, my instant answer will probably be Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
If you can get him, who can you drop? I would just drop a name like Chris Rodriguez or Blake Corm. You're in a 10-man league, so some of those
he doesn't
guys
have those
really
names.
matter.
Those names are on the waiver wire.
Or use it. Yeah, right. and then drop somebody or use it on. Right. Okay. Anyways, Baker Mayfield, Kyron, Judkins at the wide receiver 1. You have Jamar Chase. Wide receiver 2 here is going to be Drake London if he plays. And then at the flex option here, this is where I would go RJ Harvey.
Okay. I
guess if he picks up Terry, he can play Terry. So
sure, I would sit Terry, but I would pick him up. So when I look at your roster, just to give you, I know you're probably wondering like who you should drop here. I would say Jaden Reed is droppable. Troy Franklin is droppable. And I would easily drop both of those names for like McLaurin and a Corum if you want to handcuff Kyron Williams. At this point, I don't even know if Troy Franklin is really a playable name. Pat Bryant out-snapped him, out-targeted him for the first time last week, and Pat Bryant's snaps have been consistently going up. I'm sure Troy Franklin will have plenty of blow-up games still, but he is far less reliable on a weekly basis at this point, unfortunately. So I'd be willing to drop him and go out there and pick up the Terrys and the Corums if you want to handcuff Kyron and have that safety heading into the playoffs. But yeah, hopefully that's helpful, Jared. Appreciate you big time, man. And yeah, I'm gonna give you that BOGO offer for today's offer. That did not create a voucher again, which is frustrating me. I need to make sure I give these vouchers out to people. Jared, let me try on the back end here, Jared. Okay, what was it? It was a start sit. Okay. So start sit vouchers in your account.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not creating vouchers at all. Give me a second. Why don't you talk to our people?
Probably just have to write their name down there. But yeah. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for
why don't you answer some questions in the YouTube chat for us?
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's go to a couple questions if we have some, which I'm sure. Apocalypse here says starting Barkley, Monungai, and Buka at the flex. Yeah, that's a great question. For me, this would probably be still in Buka. I know he didn't have the crazy game that we were hoping for these past couple weeks, but we have to take into account these last two matchups have been pretty significant. The Rams are pretty decent against wide receivers. So are the Cardinals. Now they're going against New Orleans Saints. I'm going to start making Buka, but yeah, it's really hard to sit Saquon and Kyle Monungai going there as well. Let's see. Perry says Kincaid, Gadsden, or Strange. Yeah, look, these are all great questions. I would say my initial answer would be Gadsden if Justin Herbert is playing. If not, for me, the next matchup would be Brenton Strange. I like the way he's been getting utilized. This is going to be a big matchup in the division there for the Colts against the Jags this week. So I think that should be a high-scoring game. So I'll go Brenton Strange. And I know Dalton Kincaid is going to have an opportunity to come back this week, but I would rather wait and see what that is going to look like.
To everyone who has submitted today, I'm going to make sure and mark your names down. And then when the voucher system is up, I'll make sure and give you these vouchers for sure. Malcolm looks like he's next here on the site. He's starting Baker, Bucky, James, Puka, Rasheed. Between Jake Ferguson and Brenton Strange, it is close. Brenton Strange has a really good matchup. Matchups matter. I do feel like versus Detroit, it's a tough matchup, but Jake in that high-powered offense is probably where I would lean. It's pretty close, honestly.
Yeah, I think both of these guys are really close. Both of these guys are actually back-to-back. I actually have Brenton Strange higher.
Yeah.
In this matchup, technically just because of the divisional matchup. So I'll go Strange here at the flex option. I know Rome hasn't been there, and it's kind of hard to sit him, but I feel like it still has to be Rome. The last 3 games haven't been what you wanted, but you're going to start him anyway, so appreciate you.
Yeah, I'll just speak to that real quickly. He's still getting consistent target share. It's just not really converting. You can start Rodriguez. He's not involved in the air as a receiver, so that's difficult to rely on. Tucker doesn't get touches. Pearsall hasn't been consistent. He's on bye. Brenton Strange is probably the safest play, but I don't think he has the upside of an Adunze, so Appreciate you, Malcolm, and good luck. Jada Tiger says, already secured the bye. Does this improve my team? They would send away Chase, Brees, and Ladd. It's a 10-team start 7. I think your wide receiver room really struggles if you do this, and I would argue that you don't need to improve running back. You need to improve wide receiver. You know, you make this trade, and then you're starting Jefferson and McMillan, very talented players who are in difficult offenses to project every week. So, does it improve your team? You know, your last flex spot is probably better, but I would much rather use these assets to upgrade at receiver.
Yeah, I think you have enough here that you should just keep it. You know, Chase Brown coming back with Joe Burrow is going to be better in that offense. Brees Hall, kind of like what Zach was just mentioning, has been getting those opportunities. Ladd McConkey has been outperforming Justin Jefferson the past couple weeks as well. So, like, if Justin Jefferson is going to continue on where he's at currently, you probably wouldn't be, you're not going to be wanting that right now, you know, or starting him. So I think what you have for your team is already great if you already secured the bye week. So if you secure the bye week, that means you're the first or second team in your league. So I don't think you should be making a trade because you got there with this team most likely.
I have no problem with the trade and kind of going all in. It's just I don't like the execution of it. So I'd much rather do this for a JSN, Chase, Rice type of situation. You know, you probably don't even, like, you could probably send Brees and Ladd for Rice in the right scenario, or it might look a little bit different. Maybe it doesn't cost as much as Jonathan Taylor costs. And I love Jonathan Taylor, but it's not like his playoff schedule is that enticing anyway, right? After the bye is when the schedule really went to shit, and you're starting to see the reality of a really difficult defense that he's faced, right? The Chiefs was 8.6, Houston was 15.1, still a fine day, but Jacksonville's not a good matchup, Seattle is not a good matchup, and then Jacksonville again in week 17. If you have playoffs in week 18, it's Houston, which is even worse. So San Francisco is the one that you love. He can obviously overcome it. He's an absolute freak, an absolute superstar. But yeah, I like the idea, don't like the execution. I'd much rather do this for, like I said, an elite receiver. So appreciate you. I'm gonna try and give you a trade question voucher. If it will go through. I'm not sure it will. If it's not, if it won't, we will mark you down. And make sure we do it after the stream. Okay, that didn't go through, so I'm gonna mark your name down, and I'll make sure and get that to you after the stream.
Daniel 007 here, which might be the last one of the day. We'll see. I need to refresh here. He says, okay, well, I refreshed and now it's not working for me.
Okay, that's all right. So it says Dart on buy, drop Brissett for Daniels. Yeah, if Daniels plays this week, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm okay with that as well.
Yeah, I've got no problem with that. But obviously, you have to keep in mind that if you need a quarterback and you have to win this week, there's a chance Daniels doesn't play. So you have to think through that logically as well and decide if it's worth it. But yeah, assuming you can get through this week and keep Daniels, I don't have a reason not to tell you to pick up a guy who could win leagues considering his playoff schedule. I mean, you look at that playoff schedule, it's very enticing. What is it? I can't remember. Giants, Eagles, Cowboys. So, yeah, 100% you can go pick them up.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree there, Daniel. Appreciate you.
Okay, so we do have some Dynasty teams, but we're going to do those on tomorrow's Dynasty stream. Why don't we spend some time here? It's a short stream, which is okay. We've got a lot we got to get to today on the back end anyway. Like we said, remember, we have a wedding this weekend that we're going to be at, so we won't be live on Saturday. So your last chance to get a question answered on the stream is Thursday night, before Thursday night football. Yeah. So just keep that in mind. Let's answer 5 questions at random here, and then we'll do the giveaway. Remember, if you wanted to enter the giveaway, all you had to do was like the stream and type playoffs. But let's answer some questions at random. If you're spamming a question, I'm instantly not going to look at it. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. Nothing I like less than spam in the chat. Let's have a look. Let's answer 5 at random here. Let's see. Let's start with Perry the Yorkie, who says Kincaid, Gadsden, or Strange. Did you answer this one?
That's the one I answered, yeah.
Okay. I lean Kincaid if he's healthy against the Bengals. The Bengals is the best matchup for tight ends by a landslide there, but I don't remember what you said. We won't count that one then. Let's see. 5 questions at random. Your What Hurt says the date on YouTube said it was tomorrow night. That's okay, man. Just a mistake on our end.
Yeah, tell me. Sorry, your what?
Drop a Dunze for Mike Evans. No, I wouldn't do that, but I definitely think Mike Evans needs to be rostered. I brought him up in the waiver video yesterday. I found it really funny that there were a couple comments of people saying how dumb it was to pick up Mike Evans. Don't understand that. Like, maybe those people are in 8-team leagues. I don't know. If Mike Evans was healthy this week, he would instantly go into my lineup. Like, I have so much trust with him and Baker and the red zone threat that he is. Obviously, he's dealt with injuries, but you know, you're talking about a guy that has 1,000 yards every year of his career. It won't happen this year, but yeah. So yeah, I think Mike Evans definitely deserves to be rostered, and in a lot of your leagues, you can pick him up for free and then put him on your IR. But I wouldn't drop a Dunze to make it happen.
Yeah, I would agree. Do not drop a Dunze.
Styles, this is question 2. It says, bigger fantasy bust this year, Brian Thomas Jr. or Justin Jefferson? You know, I think if we're thinking about it logically, like ADP, both were first-round picks. So I would say Brian Thomas, because you've had more usable games from Justin Jefferson. But from like an expectations perspective, like a name, I think everyone thought Justin Jefferson was going to be a far safer name than Brian Thomas. Yeah. But in those first 9 weeks, he didn't really have a bust game. He just didn't have great games, but he wasn't busting commonly like Brian Thomas. So I guess I'm going to say Brian Thomas or Justin Jefferson by name.
For me, it'll be Justin.
Yeah. ADP, Brian's been more.
It would just be Justin, just based off of like Zach said, the expectation and how we kind of just felt safe.
Yeah,
I felt like there was a big expectation with Justin Jefferson and JJ McCarthy, and that felt really safe. And I was like, you know what, he's gonna be fine. That just wasn't the case. So.
Yeah. All right, question 3. Why don't you choose?
Okay, let's see here.
I was going to answer someone's question, but they continued to spam, so now I don't want to do it out of principle. I'm going to go to Trom here. McConkey or Watson for flex? Says London and Lamb starting wide receivers. Yeah, it's a difficult question because if Trey Lance is starting, I'm not sure you're really going to... you know what I mean? I'm not sure you're going to want to start a receiver for the Chargers. So
I actually don't think we're going to know that until lead up.
No, I don't think so either.
I feel like it's going to be a dragged on thing. And they're going to give Justin Herbert as much time. Like, he really doesn't need to practice because he is the leader of that offense and he knows it inside out. He doesn't have to, he can go through walkthroughs and like be there but not throw the ball, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I think if you don't have like a good indication, you might have to play Watson because you're not going to really know for sure. And by the way, like, you have London there. We don't even know if London's going to play. So it almost feels like you just need to play Watson out of safety. That was question 3 out of 5. Let's go to 4. Who do you want to go to here?
Yeah, we can just go to the latest one. Hunter, he says, what should I do with the Monra? Have the number 1 seed, but only 4 teams playoffs. I mean, you don't really have to do anything with the Monra. If you're the number 1 seed, you just have to hope that he comes back in the next 2 weeks. Not next week, but the week after, week 15, week 1 of the playoffs, essentially. So, that's what I will be doing. just hold Amon-Ra St. Brown because it's not as bad as we thought, and he's week to week. And if he had 2 short weeks, he should be coming back at least in week 15.
Yeah. Your What Hurts, we did answer your question. I apologize if it didn't send you a time code. There seems to be some issue on the site right now, but we did answer it. You can comment if you have any questions there, my friend. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that was question. What was it? 4 out of 5. Is that right? Let's go. Last one here. Last one. Let's have a look here. You answered Hunters, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go someone who is new and being respectful in the chat there. Let's go Kua. What's up, man? He says, who to drop to bring Evans back from IR? DK, QJ, Rodriguez, Chuba, Malik, Slayton, Hunt. You have so many options here, man.
So many.
So
First
many
one would
options.
be Malik Washington. I'll be okay to drop. I'm okay to drop DK. I think those are the first 2 I will drop.
Yeah.
Easily
Malik Washington, DK. I think those guys are names that you could comfortably move on from. All right, guys, we appreciate you big time. Obviously, we're not going to be able to answer every question, but we will be live again on Thursday night. All right, so make sure you join with us Thursday night. And last thing I'll say is tomorrow we will be live. With all due respect, no number, I don't care that you're unsubscribing, buddy. All right. We literally told you guys don't spam and we're not going to answer your questions. And then you decided to spam for the next 15 minutes straight. I don't care. Have a good rest of your day. I feel like this is the TikTok generation a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe.
That attention span is so.
We'll
be live on Dynastyland Football tomorrow, so come join us there, and we'll see you guys then. All love.
Love.